Well, hello there, everyone. Mr. Rooster Elite here, coming at you with another Tilo's talk. So, with all the craziness going on, with my main channel being on strike and everything, as you all already know, that I have to upload on the original channel, which is UknownRooster channel. But I've already made a whole separate Tilo's talk for that one, and I did upload it on Sunday. So with that being said, everyone, let's get down to some Tilo's talks. Just to let y'all know, in case y'all didn't know, my name is Tilo. But however, it's so funny because you'll actually never hear anyone that knows me calling me that unless it's someone from like someone who met me someone who met me when my name was already Tilo. The people that knows me as something before Tilo, they don't call me Tilo, obviously. So that's how that's working. So now that we finally clarified that up, because I don't know if I ever clarified that in my other Tilo's talks. And some people probably are wondering, why Tilo's talks? What the hell is a Tilo? I'm Tilo. Oh man. Remember everyone, I'm doing this very live. So so while y'all are watching the video, I'm also watching the video. Ouch, I just hit my headset. So let's just get to it. Y'all know the name of the video. Why everyone? Y'all are all so sure. That the lives y'all are living are actually y'all lives. How do you know that you're not in a dream right now? How do you know that this whole video, including you that's watching it, is just some elaborate rules to keep you from understanding that you're actually asleep in life's waiting room? So you're waiting right now. You don't know what's going on. All you do know. Oh yeah, he has barbecue chili. He ran straight to me. It's too easy sometimes. But with that being said, how do y'all know? You know what I mean? And this metaphysical question that I've just asked, it can definitely be tackled in a couple of different ways. And it definitely can be a hard question to answer. The reason why I say that is because there's no true right or wrong answer. It's metaphysical. So it's all about what you think, you know. This question can't have a right answer or a wrong answer because we can't measure anything after death, at least not yet. However, obviously, let's go ahead and get the science out the way. So, with quantum physics, we do have some idea of a concept called quantum immortality. And what quantum immortality is that your everything has information. Remember when we was talking about the Homo sapiens? We were talking about DNA. Well, think of the even smaller things that make up even that. And in quantum physics, they call it information. So the theory behind it is that information cannot actually be destroyed. And that's why it's a very interesting paradox with these black holes, unless new information came out that I don't know about. But at the moment, there's a paradox in the black hole right now because black holes actually delete information. So that's a paradox because information is said to be undeletable. Information cannot be completely erased because remember, matter cannot be created nor destroyed, it's just transformed. So, boom, there we go. There's the science. We got the science stuff out the way. So now we can actually get into some theory, right? So the theory is that, or at least, first, let me tell y'all that I actually love thinking about this question. Uh, it's a fun question because we've all had times where this thing that we call life felt as though it wasn't actually real, or maybe that, there was something ultimately off about this thing that is life, right? Boom. So it's really fun to get into this type of question because we don't know what is real. I think about it all the time when I look at just the state of the world in general. I'd be like, man, for example, this pandemic going around. This is some people's worst nightmares, you know? And it shows you just how helpless we really are. We don't have no way to really fight it off or anything, and we have to get vaccinated. We have to trust that these scientists know what they're talking about, and I believe them. They know what they're talking about, but I don't want to get into that. Getting into talking about the vaccine is what got me into having to upload on this channel in the first place. However, what I will say is all of this shows humans, especially those who aren't certified scientists, how helpless we really are in the face of some type of danger like this. And it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. My fault. That was a that was a good little play. I got scared. I got really scared. Oh, I think I'm gonna die, y'all. I think he's mad. All right. Anyway, let me stop getting distracted because this is gonna probably be a long Tilo's talk, and I want to make sure I cover everything that I want to cover. So, um, but basically, the pandemic. Ultimately, I'm talking about how there is so much pain and suffering. However, there's just as much good in the world too. It's all about what you choose to seek out. Sometimes it seems as though we're all just going through a loading screen of life, and the player character we currently identify ourselves as is how we're going to be fully loaded in when we load in, whatever that even supposed to mean, right? Don't ask me what I mean by some of these things, y'all, because these are just ideas, and I don't even fully understand them myself. But these are just some of the thoughts that just pops up into my head when I think about this question. So I don't really think too hard about the thoughts. I do have some metacognition, don't get me wrong, but I don't think too hard about my thoughts sometimes because if I do, it go down a rabbit hole in which now I need to recover from. And to be able to recover from these type of rabbit holes, you gotta know how deep to get into some of these, whatever you want to call them, whether you want to call them a conspiracy, whatever. Because we really don't know, what to really call these types of questions. These questions are very, very metaphysical, and it's crazy. These are the types of questions that we have to also start thinking about and asking ourselves with the advancement of technology. A lot of people actually don't know that virtual reality is not, it didn't come out in the 21st century. They first made virtual reality in the early 20th century. It was called the Scenario. Oh man, go do y'all research, okay? I don't want to give y'all any wrong information. Once again, I'm not that type of person. I don't give out false information. I tell information that I have seen, and I watched the Joe Rogan's podcast, right? And they actually pulled this stuff up, pulled it up from the internet. Like, I want to say the 1938s or something like that. It's hard to believe because it's like technology wasn't said to be that advanced then, obviously. But I mean, obviously it's wrong. You know, a lot of and this is the thing. There's a difference between conspiracy theories and conspiracies. You want me to tell you the difference? Conspiracies are proven. They're proved. Conspiracy theories are just that. They're theories. So they haven't been proved yet, technically. With that being said, this conspiracy is crazy. And I don't even know if we call it a conspiracy. It's just that we didn't know. You know, a lot of us didn't know that virtual technology or virtual reality technology was out back then. So it definitely begs the question: how advanced was the early 20th century? I mean, mate. All right, get your thoughts together. Because remember, I freestyle these Tilo songs. It begs the question of how much more advanced was the 20th century than we realized. And that year could have been wrong, y'all. I don't know. The important thing is not the year that I'm trying to give y'all. The important thing is that the times in which we thought virtual reality was a thing is wrong. So with that being said, how advanced were we really back during those times? And we should really think about these topics mainly because since technology is evolving so rapidly, the lines between reality began to blur more and more. And we already understand this. You know, I've seen videos where people came out of virtual reality experiences completely terrified, completely forgot that they were in a reality in which we would perceive is not real. But what makes that reality any less real than this reality? I mean, the creatures and characters within those dreams, those realities, can still have dreams in the same way that we can have dreams. Or can they? I mean, these are the things that we have to be pondering because we don't know. That is the fact of the matter. We don't know. Like the dreams are felt within the character's dreams, you know, and within the character's ideas. So it's like we really are in a weird way creating life. We're creating some sort of different entity that is starting to live and breathe. And maybe when we learning these things about technology, we're doing all of this and we really don't know. We have no idea at all. And that was amazing. That was a good hit. I don't know why I'm playing so idiotic this match, but maybe I'm gonna get it together. Nah, I'm doing his ass now. Alright, anyway though. And because these lines are starting to blur more and more, it definitely makes you wonder, you know? What if reality really is an illusion and we're just asleep in life's waiting room? All all of this, all of this, would any of it even matter? Any of it. You know what I mean? Like, how can you definitively say you're not in a dream right now? And this was like basically the entire premise of, you know, what made the Matrix so amazing. Because we can't even begin to figure it out. I mean, yeah, you have certain life things that happen, like you know, like glitches in the Matrix. So they call it. That's the term, glitches in the Matrix. It's almost like some weird shit that happens in reality that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Literally a glitch, like a real life glitch, is amazing. So definitely begs the question and makes you wonder, like, what the fuck, right? If not, then ask yourself this. Why do we continue this? Why do we have some type of weird, innate reason to just keep pushing into matter? You know what I mean? Because it's like, think of it. We got virtual reality, we got augmented reality, and we just keep pushing and pushing into matter, even with these scientific discoveries that we continue to happen. You know, we're trying to learn how to make something called a quantum computer, because if we could, it could go trillions of times faster than the regular computers that we're used to. You know what I'm saying? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So ultimately, this is, and I'm not trying to say that this is all some big conspiracy or nothing, but it definitely should at least raise some type of question in your mind. And why are we continuously pushing in the matter? What is the point? You know, they're starting to make augmented reality clothes. You know, so you're gonna be able to start buying clothes augmented style. It's not even real. You know, and that's gonna make millions, maybe even billions of dollars one day. That's gonna be $1 billion industry in the future, maybe 100 years from now. We don't know how the world is gonna be 100 years from now, but it makes you wonder, like, does it even matter if we continue to push into matter and try to break away from the life we're living, even though, you know, it's only just subjectively better? You know, the questions are becoming more important now than when Matrix was first released, because the implications have already begun taking root. We're already choosing to go inside of these other experiences, these other realities, versus staying within our own reality. We don't want to stay in our reality. We want to get out and and have a reality that's better, that's easier, that is more desirable. And nothing necessarily wrong with that, right? I always remember that. I don't have a problem with that. But it's the philosophical implications that these things, you know, decree. And we have to be more aware of these things if we truly want to be able to answer some of these questions. Because some people don't care, and that's understandable. But it's a fun question at the end, you know. And I don't know. When you look around the world, right, the Matrix has already happened. Everyone is already ran by machines, our phones. You walk into a room, and you instantly see about a good 90% of the room on their phones, mindlessly doing something. You want me to say why it's so mindless? Because if you can walk up to that person without them recognizing you, and they can, like, has that ever happened to you? You just walk up to a person that was on their phone, you're like, hey, and they just jump, like, oh shit, like, you scared me. How did I scare you? You're all the way on the other side of the room. How did you not see me walking to you? Well, it's because they were distracted. They're mindlessly scrolling on their phone. Because if it wasn't mindless, they would be aware of their peripherals. They would have seen you coming, or me. Because that's actually happened. I've scared someone because I walked into a room and walked all the way across the room to say hello to them, and they jumped because they didn't see me. I'm doing air quotations. That's why I'm saying it like that. And it's fascinating. Remember, fascinating does not necessarily have to mean good connotation. When I say when I say fascinating, I mean it in a negative way. It's intriguing. It definitely makes me think, because I'm like, I just don't understand, you know. And the thing about it is, it's not a problem being on your phone. You have to interpret what I'm saying correctly, because I don't want to always have to stop and explain, you know, certain things. I'm not saying don't use y'all phones. It's not what I'm saying at all. If that is what you're taking out of this, then maybe you shouldn't be watching Tilo's talks. I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence here, but I am being realistic. Okay? You have to try to understand me. And that's another thing. If y'all aren't open to trying to understand someone's opinion in which you don't agree with, then what's the point in even listening? Just so you can get mad at everything I say? I mean, I'm just saying, why would you want to get yourself mad? It's easy. You want me to tell you how to not get mad? Just don't listen to the people you don't agree with. It's very easy. Anyway, though, right? So, most people, they're not talking about anything meaningful. They're just mindlessly scrolling on whatever social media platform that tickles their bellies. And and this is typically true. And I'm guilty of mindless scrolling. However, I incorporate mindless scrolling. And there's a difference. I allow myself to mindlessly scroll sometimes because sometimes that's what I need. We all need that break away from reality. So, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. But you just have to be aware that that's what's happening. I mean, it's sometimes, and sometimes I don't mindlessly scroll. Sometimes I'm actually very, very aware of everything that's going on while I'm scrolling. So, sometimes I mindlessly scroll, sometimes I don't. And I always try to maintain awareness of my surroundings because we are not in control of life. We are just walking down the path that's already paved for us. So with that being said, you can't stop a murderer or a stray bullet. I've actually, this is sad, a stray bullet, has actually ran through like someone's house around here a couple years back and killed the person. The person ended up going to my school. You have no control over a situation like that. And it's easy to be like, yes I do. But no you don't. You don't know when a lightning strike is gonna happen. Or when a tree could fall on your house. You have no control over those types of things. So if you can't control this thing that you call your life in every aspect, then how can you say you have control over your life? You only have control over your actions within this thing you call your life. With that being said, right, it's amazing because there are people that wear earphones on a day-to-day basis so they can completely immerse themselves in the music world. However, now they're completely vulnerable to this so-called real world. So they can't hear anything that's going on around them, and they won't be any good until they actually see the threat, which could detrimentally hurt them. And obviously no one's thinking like this when they put both of their earphones in, music blasting on full blast. But why? Why is no one thinking this way? You want me to tell you why I bring these types of things up? That's because I've actually had a life or death type of situation in which I had my earphones in and a dog. Yes, a dog. This is crazy. Because we can go back and forth about whether or not it's good to actively think about danger or not. But to shed some light on this and give y'all a little bit more understanding of why I feel the way I feel about this, is because of my own personal experience. So yes, I do have a type of prejudice, but don't we all have some type of prejudice to everything? I mean, it's this how humans operate. So with that being said, let me explain mine. I was walking, right? I've been chased by a lot of dogs in the past, but from not being attentive and having earphones in my ear, yeah, that was the one only time it took me that. I learned the lesson very clearly. It was pretty easy. Because sometimes it's hard to actually, it's actually hard to see certain things that happen to you in your life as some type of teaching of some sort. And I can definitely understand why. I'm sorry, y'all. This chase is starting to get intense. But I used to always take certain things as lessons, right? I was walking home from one of my friend's house, and I was under the influence. So that's number one. Mistake number one, walking home at night under the influence. I don't recommend that to anybody. Mistake number two, having my earphones in, both of them, and the music on full blast so I could be immersed into the music world. So I'm in a different dimension, technically. My consciousness is there, that is. And I'm walking around, right? And I'm walking around, and I notice that there's a dog literally about to bite me on my leg, my right leg. I take off sprinting. I was so scared, my heart pounding. I'm pretty sure I almost had a heart attack. And the thing about that is I immediately took that lesson and I'm like, never again. And if I do walk with earphones in my ear, one is only in, and I have the volume down to, for one, not dangerous levels to where it can be death defying, but also ensure myself that I'm not going to be so immersed into a different dimension to where I forget about the dimension of where I am now. Because we all like to just get away sometimes. There's nothing wrong with getting away, but you have to do it in a more controlled manner. Y'all think y'all are in control of y'all lives until a dog chases you, until a tree falls on you, until you get struck by lightning. These things, yeah, sure, they might be rare, but just because they're rare does not mean that they cannot happen. You have to get out of the mindset that it cannot happen to you, because it can. It can happen to anyone. And it's happened to people in the past. And they probably didn't used to think that it would happen to them either. So I'm just trying to bring some type of awareness, y'all, to this conversation, that this was a given because I was able to escape the attack unscathed. Life taught me if I had gotten mauled in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? I would have only had to depend on my hearing for the rest of my life. We have to be better as humans. We have to be better as individuals. We have to be better for ourselves, because we owe ourselves that much, at least. So with that being said, y'all, I really hope that this Tilo's talk was able to help someone make a change for the better in their life. And I will see you all in the next one. And I will see you all later. Oh man, but you gotta finish watching this video. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's nothing I can do right now. Fucking shitty ass killer.